Welcome to the ninth grade experience. I'm your host, Chris Dutchko. As a teacher of freshmen and one of our freshman mentor committee faculty advisors, I spend a lot of my school day thinking about and helping students with the successful transition from middle school to the halls of Emmaus High School. The goal of this podcast is to give you the story of the ninth grade here at Emmaus High School through the people who live it daily, the students and staff. We will attempt to touch on the real issues and stories that ninth grade students face, ranging from academics to athletics, technical school, and just trying to find your way as one person in a community of approximately 2,700 students. We will also look to speak with some of the influential staff members who play a key part in a student's ninth grade year. It is the hope that future ninth grade students and their families can use the tips and insights provided here to begin making connections to their potential new school and learn more about the day-to-day lives of the students that they will one day become and realize from day one that ninth grade counts. You can learn more about this episode and all of the episodes of the ninth grade experience by following us on Twitter at EHSFMC or at Chris Stutchko, or following the hashtag EHS9counts, or our website, sites.google.com/eastpennsd.org/ninth grade experience. Before we jump into today's topic, let's thank our sponsor for this show, the East Penn Education Foundation. This podcast has been made possible through a $1,000 grant awarded to teachers like me each year who are attempting to do unique projects in the area of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. The foundation supports programs that put learning in motion by giving students the tools they need to think actively in a complex and changing world. You can follow them on Facebook at EPSD Education Foundation, on Twitter at EPSD EdFound, or on Instagram at EPSD Ed Foundation. Now on to the show. Welcome to this week's episode of the Ninth Grade Experience podcast. As we head into the Memorial Day weekend, we are trying a new format, a shorter episode without a guest. I wanted to share a personal reflection that I had after visiting school for the first time since late March. Every member of the Emmaus High School community has been experiencing this shutdown in their own way during the last 2 months. We have been saying, even though the building is closed, our school is still open. But when I stepped foot inside of a practically empty EHS building, the feeling of closure really hit home. What follows is a reflection on my possible final visit to the building during the 2019-2020 school year. When I arrived at Emmaus High School on Friday, May 22nd, 2020 to do my final room cleanup for the year, the day should have felt entirely different. It was 10:40 a.m. Most students should have been in class or hustling to beat the bell. Other students would have been going through the locker commons towards buses that would take them to LCTI. Another group of students would be going towards the auditorium for a study hall. As I entered the doors closest to my room near the auditorium, my attention turned to the area right above the doors to a banner that reads, "Welcome Class of 2023. It had been there since August, and there is no way that when fresh-faced students were learning their way through the halls of Emmaus High School, that they could have predicted that their freshman year would have ended this way. The Friday before Memorial Day is usually one filled with anticipation. Seniors are celebrating the culmination of 4 years of hard work leading to graduation. Underclassmen are finishing up final units of the year, preparing for final exams, and trying to maintain focus as the temperatures go up. The staff is trying to keep everyone on track while thinking about the joys of the upcoming summer break. But on May 22nd, 2020, it was eerily quiet. There were only 2 cars in the parking lot closest to the auditorium. The lights were dark in the hallways and classrooms. Gone were the sounds you hear at the top of the podcast, sounds of students bustling through the hallways. It was so quiet, you could hear the sounds of a train in the distance. On the normal day, it would never be that quiet. But as we know, not much is normal these days. Today is day 1, March 12th, 2020. From the window of the ninth grade office to the whiteboards visible through the classroom windows, It was like Emmaus High School was frozen in time at the end of that last day, Thursday, March 12th. The next day, coincidentally, was Friday the 13th, and school for students was not scheduled. On Friday, teachers began planning for what we thought was a potential 2-week shutdown. There was little thought to plan for what has happened since. We are now over 2 months into distance learning. We have transitioned through 3 different phases. We have meted, Zoomed, classroomed, and puzzled for months. But in the building at EHS, it is still March 12th. It was like walking into a time capsule on Friday, May 22nd. The guidance department's March calendar of career speakers was still on the wall. Bins outside of classrooms collecting soap and other items were untouched. Posters on lockers celebrating sports accomplishments and band performances were still hanging. The February edition of the Stinger School newspaper sat in the news box. Amazingly, the front page picture featured a student wearing a protective mask, not to prevent against coronavirus, but to theoretically guard against whooping cough, which had seen several cases during the winter months at EHS. During the week of June 8th, Emmaus High School will have the opportunity to welcome the class of 2023 all over again. But this time, you will only have the chance to pick up your stuff that you left behind and return all your books. There will be no chance to greet your friends with high fives or hugs in the hallway. Hopefully, you still remember how to get to your locker without being as confused as you were during those first days in August. It has been quite the first year at Emmaus High School for our freshman class. A year they will not soon forget.